might sound stupid, so you wait. And then some man says it, and everybody thinks it's brilliant. So even as I started teaching, I told my students that they had to learn to interrupt. Because if you're going to interrupt, you have to think about what you're going to say and have an active listening voice. My classes were a bit of a zoo because I told them not to raise their hands, but I learned. But I had my own out-of-body experience, really, which was my first meeting of the UN Security Council. And I was the only woman on the Security Council, and I walked in, and there were 14 other men there of various races sitting there like this. And I thought, okay, I'll wait to figure out who's who, and if they're going to like me, and if I sound smart enough, and what do I look like today. And then I finally thought, if I don't speak, then the voice of the United States will not be heard. And it was the first time that I kind of had that moment where I thought, I'm not just here as a woman trying to figure out my place, but representing the country. And I hope we can get into this more, is I made women's issues central to American foreign policy, not because I'm a feminist, but because I believe, as Secretary of State, that the job was to try to help various countries acquire stability, democracy, peace, freedom. And the only way to do that is if the issues really were the kind that women have to work on. Education, health, passing down cultural values, and making clear that women's voices had to be heard. I have to say, and I'm delighted that Maria Shriver has put all this together, because I had some great interviews with her about the problem of trafficking in women, because that was one of the issues that we thought we had to deal with. One, because it is cruel and unjust, but because it destabilizes. So there are lots of different things, but I think the power on the stage, I don't know how I got here, everybody's first name is with C. There's so many powers in terms of the power of this room, and people who I think can do in their communities what the rest of us have done at other levels.
And could I just interject here that it was not lost on the audience, your Freudian slip about being president. Around the world look at America and wonder why there is not yet a woman elected to the highest office or even the second highest office, but that will come. Cecilia, where did you bring your voice out? How were you able to do that? You were first